Hey everyone, welcome to a live watch party. Steph says, let's begin. Yes, let's begin. What kind of whiskey is Silver drinking here? Barbosa. I think it's, that's a good question. Isn't it Jack Daniels? I am going to get that answer for you because we definitely need that precise answer on a Sunday drinking. So, why are we here? What are we doing? I think I was intending to just I'm trying to work on some stuff just so people know. To get some guests back on, some cool fandom stuff. We can't actually see. You know what? Oakley, I don't know. Some sort of, I think it's like a variation of Jack Daniels, isn't it? Like, sorry. Anyway, hey, Watch Party fan page. Yes, a bourbon guy. Yeah. What's the drink for today? Yeah, definitely a more upscale liquor we're going with today. Something more upscale. Hey, Jack, it's going good. What do we got? Yeah. Drink something good, like a nice bourbon or Jack. John, so there's your guy. Roundtable, first question. Out of all of the Season 5 Precision videos you made so far, which one are you most confident in predicting videos? So, I mean, I think the things about Season 5 that we know, it's say J, yeah, probably D whiskey, yeah, something like that. I think it's spelled a little different. So, they probably spelled it a little different, but yeah. As far as roundtable, out of the prediction view, well, okay, I mean, we know Mexico. I do think Luis Perez. Wait, Roberto Luis Guzman. What was I'm trying to remember his name? Roberto Luis Guzman is playing Miguel's dad. Here. I think I decided what I was going to do is I'm going to make a video for you guys about Mexico. Like there's actually a lot of images, but there's actually, from the lot of images, there's not a lot of knowledge. Here's one that just came out yesterday. Roberto Luis Guzman. There's a lot of images, but there's not a lot of knowledge. But so I started writing a video. I'm just going to put it together because I said I was going to do a video on Sam season 5 because some people seem to like that. Making a little broad theory about her, but I was going to do a little bit of a Mexico recap. So, I mean, other than the fact that like, so here's who went to Puerto Rico to shoot for Mexico. You got, Billy Tanner. Hayden went as the director. That's just a girl. And then you got these two. So that's most of what we know about what's going on. As far as the Mexico storyline. But I am going to make a video just sort of wrapping it up. It's being written, so it may come out today or tomorrow. Daniel's a fake crowd. Yes, Agni Kai, I saw your video. You sent it to me. You don't have to come in here and just start that. You made your Grand Theft Auto character look like Terry Silver, Liam. That's a smart move. There you go. Rocky Balboa, he's not immediately going on Barnes. He's more Snake and Dennis. Yeah, definitely Snake and Dennis. Silver was closer to because they like already worked for him. They were already in the employ on the payroll. So you could be right, Rocky. Yeah, I don't think Barnes doesn't enter episode 1. He may enter more mid-season, give or take. The big three get free Coors Banquet now. Maybe for the show. They don't even use that much. So, I mean, how much Coors Banquet can you drink if you're not Johnny? I think I have a Coors Banquet down in the refrigerator. I need to check that. Maybe I drank that one. I just don't drink. I have beers that's been in the refrigerator forever. Do you think Julie will appear at the end of Cobra Kai season 5? Maybe. That's a hard guess, but she's not in season 5, per se, but maybe her character shows up in season 6, so Adrian, hey everyone, hey back. Yeah, we're drinking, we're drunk. Oh, and so yeah, like I was trying to tell you, I have some ideas to get some guests on, get some cool stuff, rather than just this me talking. I reached out. Not everyone does like to be on like a stream or as a guest, even as like a specialist. People get like scared or nervous, so feel uncomfortable. So that's like my first choice. Didn't pan out, but I do have someone else in mind, and I'm waiting to hear back from one. And then there's some other people I want to reach out to for a different type of stream. So we'll get some stuff going. We've kind of done a lot of the season 4 recapping now, just talking about it. So we'll get some stuff coming. Next week, next Sunday is the Super Bowl, right? So may not do a stream on Sunday. May just wait till Monday. We'll see. A lot of stuff's going to be going on, but maybe people are waiting before the game. Can people please stop trying to get Dutch on the show and accept Chad has retired? Yeah, Detective Bat, no matter how many times you tell them, they still do it. The number of people, if you look at the video about Tori's father, where Sean Kanan was screwing around with Peyton List, that's what's going on in that video. Sean Kanan was clearly on set, and he was screwing with Peyton List, because Sean knows the rumors, right? Like Sean follows this, he knows what's going on, he thinks it's funny, and he probably since season 2 he had been planning this. Like he'd wanted to screw with Peyton. I'm going to tell her I'm her father. So like he's probably been planning this. So like he was screwing her with her. And that's what's said in this video, despite you read the comments and somehow people can't pick up on it. But the number of comments in this video of just people talking like, oh, I think it's Dutch because he has a temper. It's like insane. It's not Dutch. I don't know. I just don't know. It's first level thinking. I don't know. They just think like, here's a character and here's another character. Obviously they're related. Will Silver use the phrase, come on, little man, let's see how good you really are before it's all said and done? Hope he does it towering over Daniel or Chosen. No, he's probably going to say that to Bert or Nate. Joseph, I don't know. I mean, in order for it to work, it's got to be someone short. What if he's fighting Sam? Come on, little girl. Let's see how good you really are. Probably not. I love how they keep the Applebee's is a running gag, obviously. That's just a fun thing they got going. Freddy Fernandez returns. Yeah, there's been some indications he may come back. If people didn't realize, actually the hockey match, let's see, do I have a picture of in this slideshow here of the hockey players? The hockey players, their logo is actually basically a version of that of his shirt, of what Freddy Fernandez is wearing in that. When he first meets him, he's like wearing that pig shirt or whatever. Let me see. I'm going to get you. Oh, wait. It's not that team. It's the other team. Shoot. Okay, here. Maybe I should hold on a second. Well, okay. But yeah, so the logo of the hockey team. There it is. The pig. And by the way, if you saw on Cobra Kai Companion, Peter and Brianna, they interviewed the writers of this episode, yeah, and they kind of brought it up and they kind of like played it off, but like we're like, yeah, who would do that? So, yeah, so it's definitely like a Freddy Fernandez sponsors this team or something. So he's there in the universe. Yeah, making bacon. He's there in the universe. So I actually thought he may show up in season 4. He didn't. But there's strong indication maybe of season 5. We'll see. It seems like they got something in mind for him. Roundtable Dutch isn't needed. Yeah, they wrote him out. I mean, it's fine. Watch party's better than the Super Bowl. Yeah. Thank you. If you had to rank the senseis based on how would you rank them? 1 Terry, Daniel, Johnny, Kreese. If you're including Chosen, I'd put him at 1. Well, we don't know how Chosen will match up against Terry. Mr. Miyagi's the strongest, but then probably Terry, Daniel, Johnny, Chris. Otherwise, I mean, you're pretty much. I agree with you. Cello 98. Lots of guys have tempers. Yeah. Yeah, especially in this universe, a lot of guys have tempers. The only people to stop them is the Dutch is to kill them off. Well, no. They already killed off Tommy. We don't need that. Agni Kai. You don't have to regurgitate your video here. Chosen or Silver? I definitely prefer Silver over Chosen. Because we did have like almost a whole season of Silver. It was a lot of fun. We only had like an episode of Chosen. We'll see how it goes here in season 5. Maybe we'll get a feel of both of them. I wouldn't say no for a Sam and Tori spinoff. Yeah, but we already got a Sam and Tori spinoff. It's called, back half of season 2, season 5, season 4. Making. If Mike Barnes does return, how will Daniel react? I don't know. He may look down on Barnes. He may mock him or something. It depends on partially also on what the intention of Barnes' character was, like what happened after Karate Kid 3 and how all that went. Mr. Miyagi spinoff would be the best possible route. Yes, I mentioned this in my Instagram Q&A last night. I do have a live stream. If you go back, when was that? In November, I did a live stream with Peter from Cobra Kai Companion. And we talked for like an hour and a half, give or take, just about all the possibilities of a Mr. Miyagi spinoff. He has a video on his channel about Mr. Miyagi. Definitely you want to look at that out. It's a character study. But if you're into like Mr. Miyagi stuff, there's some stuff out there. Peter's video on Cobra Kai Companion and the live stream I did with him. What spinoffs for characters do you want? Yeah, Mr. Miyagi is my first guess, my first answer. John Wells, no, Thomas Ian Griffith was never retired. That is incorrect. And the writers can visit. No, Thomas Ian Griffith was never retired. He's active in the industry. He's been a writer, and he himself never said he like quit acting. He took writing because it was like it was also fulfilling for him. He just, you know, he didn't really necessarily, the acting roles that were coming weren't like necessarily like stuff he was interested in, as opposed to like writing, which, by the way, like you can write what you're interested in. Acting, you got to act the role someone else came for you. You know, but he always thought like he was open to acting if the right role came around. Just generally, for the most part, it never did. So that's I would not be an optimist with Dutch. You're better off to be a realist with Dutch. You know, Chad said he doesn't want to come back, and so that's fine. We'll just move on. You know, just let it be. Otherwise, you're just leaving the door open. You know, only to feel disappointment. It's okay to be a realist. Matthew 575. I love how Tori has the Miyagi-Do spirit. Thanks to Amanda and Sam, has some Cobra Kai mentality from Daniel and Johnny. Well, definitely, yeah. The point of season 4 was all about cross training and learning outside of your comfort zone, so to speak. Who's the best villain, Terry Silver or John Kreese? I definitely prefer Terry Silver. Everything about him. Although Kreese works in a lot of ways too. They're different, which actually maybe works. A Johnny Watch Party spinoff. Yeah. More PTSD flashbacks. I don't think we need that. No, John Wells, I have not seen The Boogie Woman. I'm aware it comes out. It came out, but I haven't seen it. Mega Cloud, the Dangers of Miyagi spinoff. Yeah, obviously, I mean that's the risk with any spinoff, right? That was the risk with Cobra Kai to begin with. You know, in the end, on some level, you just have to accept and or embrace the risk. But I do think the spinoff has Robert Mark Kamen attached, and Robert Mark Kamen has said very directly he feels like he's the only one who can write Mr. Miyagi. You know, obviously the next Karate Kid was not written by him, and no one thinks it was written well. And he even seemed to think that a little bit about, you know, he wasn't very direct, but like the way they wrote Mr. Miyagi's letter or something in season 3. I mean, maybe I'm reading more into that, but you know, Robert Mark Kamen has said he feels like he's the only one who can really write Miyagi. And I do think very strongly he is maybe the force behind that. So if it's going to be done right, it has the best chance of being done right. That's all you can say. You never know. Like, you never know. So you have to just understand there's always uncertainty. There's always risk. As a creator, right? I mean, and they're creators. I mean, I never know how my videos will do. Yes, Mark, another video stream. Yeah, I was thinking about, I don't know, if we'll do a stream or just a get together. So for those of you who know, we did a stream, what was it, 2 weeks ago? With the channel members. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, Mark. So we did a stream with the channel members. It was definitely a lot of fun. We talked about season 4. I think it took a little while for people to warm up to it a little bit, which is okay. I understand. Well, look, I see. I've looked around at like what other people. Sometimes they just do like group calls and talk, not necessarily stream on channel. But we'll figure out something definitely to do here in February. In fact, I've been meaning to make a post on it to see what people think, Mark. But we'll have something going here. Do you know what happened to Johnny's Challenger? I do not. I always think he got towed to like one of Daniel's lots or something. Celan asks, what do you think is next for Hawk's character? seems the arc there. Yeah, Hawk and Dimitri are kind of a big question. Where do they go from here? I think I have a better guess for Hawk, because if Daniel wants to expand Miyagi-Do to compete with an expanding Cobra Kai, I can see Daniel maybe putting Hawk a little front and center as sort of the face of Miyagi-Do a little bit, as just, All Valley champion Hawk. So it would be Hawk kind of dealing with that. Like, what does he do now that he's a champion? Sort of a different look at it. That would be my first guess. But as far as, broader season 5 story arcs, Hawk, I have a few guesses like that. And Dimitri, I don't know. Why are you guys debating the lifetime ban? I even made a whole video on the whole thing that wasn't going to come up in season 4, and I was right. For all my predictions, right? Sometimes I predict something won't come up, and I was right. Do you feel Johnny and Daniel split too fast in Cobra in season 4? Well, I mean, I don't know how we define too fast, but in the end, I think the motivations were kind of weak. And it's one of the things about season 4 that, and I mentioned even going back to my review, you can just feel like they're forcing the plot points in place in the back half of the season, and like the split. It's just like, well, we want them to be split, so we're going to force them to split. And sometimes you just get this feeling, like when the writer, it's a writing group, but like when the writer starts forcing a plot point, it just doesn't quite gel in so perfectly. And, and their split was kind of like a forced plot point. They got to get them where they want them, so they did that. Cobra Kai World. Hey, Strike First Media is here. Cool. They both run YouTube channels and Instagram accounts and everything. Yeah, John, I mean, they're just, the challengers out there somewhere, about there's no reason to think Silver would have it. Why would he be randomly at the beach and get it? But, do you know why Terry Silver framed Kreese? Because he thought Kreese was his weakness, and he wanted to shed his weakness. In order to do that, he had to get Kreese out of the picture. So that's basically it. Joe says his favorite Kyler moment is in season 5. Yes, I think we may see Kyler's parents. There's a little info about that, but we'll worry about it another time. Bryce Speed asks, Watch Party, do you think each of the character storylines will be more interesting if each of the seasons were extended to 20 episodes? No. I mean, the storylines are the storylines. I think, it definitely, in season 4, we can definitely feel, for really the first time, the crunch, where it feels like stuff is missing. Like there should have been stuff and it's not there. And, these would be character development scenes. Like I keep saying, it seems crazy that Hawk gets his mohawk shaved, feels bad, and neither Johnny nor Miguel say anything to him. They just there it is. So Hawk's there with Dimitri while Johnny and Miguel are off trying to recruit a girl. Like what? There's missing scenes in season 4, and it's the first time for sure it feels like the show's gotten too big. More episodes isn't going to necessarily solve that. Possibly longer episodes. I agree, like with Peter from Cobra Kai Companion said, I feel like if the show were running a running time of 40 to 42 minutes per se, as opposed to the 30-minute running time. And frankly, at this point now, it's like 33, 34 minutes average or something like that. But if they just had another like 7 or 8 minutes, they can actually include some of those character scenes. It's a challenge. Well, and you slow down the story. Well, I know it's hard. You got to have a forward drive, but I don't think it's more episodes. I think the episodes are fine, but maybe a little bit more time, closer to an hour-long story, or what was traditionally an hour-long story, like 42 minutes an episode or so, 45 minutes. Watch Party is better than the Pro Bowl. Yes, thank you. Do you think Daniel and Johnny are going to shut down the dojos because they agreed they're going to shut down? Well, Daniel has made it clear he's not. That's the end of season 4. I think Johnny will. I think Johnny has other issues. Riley F is in the house. We got a lot of the members. Yeah, guys, we're going to do something for February. Whether it's a stream or maybe just a call, we can all get together. Like I was looking like other channels do stuff like that, like a call or something where everyone just hangs out and talks or something like that. We'll see. Do you think Chosen meets Tori? Cobra Kai World, big Tori fan. Not at first, obviously. He's gonna be with the Miyagi-Do side of things. He may learn about Tori from Sam, but he's focused also elsewhere. What plot points would you like to have been expanded on? See, it's more character than plot. Mega Cloud, like we just have character that we're missing, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, where's the scene where Johnny and Miguel try to console Hawk and get him to come back to the dojo? You can't quit. We got the All Valley. Like, where's that scene? And there's more. And now my head is blinking, but that's the most obvious. Well, like also, this could be a little plot. Sam and Johnny, it's like a season-long story arc for her, but it's barely exists actually in the show. They have like literally just a couple scenes and a handful of lines of dialogue, and that's not enough to carry a season-long story arc. They needed more, and frankly, the Devin Johnny scenes were better than the Sam. There's Devin. Devin had more and better bonding with Johnny in like 5 minutes of screen time than Sam did over the whole season. So like that's stuff that's missing out. Sella, I mean, it would be better because about them getting Aisha, but the show's just going in a different direction. A lot of people would have loved to see Aisha back at the All Valley, and maybe at least make the quarterfinals. Actually, she technically made the quarterfinals in season 1, because when she lost to Xander, then they were in the semi. So that was actually the quarterfinals. So we know Aisha can make the quarterfinals. Just see how it goes. Tristan, yeah. Hawk and Johnny, yeah, exactly. Bryce Speed, Watch Party. It's just most of the arcs feel kind of forced, though. Well, yeah. I mean, the back half of season 4, a lot was being forced. You're right. I mean, that was the only flow. It's, even though you're enjoying it, like there's this sense underneath, like, they're kind of pushing it. Parties, the Africa Cup Nations Finals, whatever. I don't even know what that is, Buck Reviewer, but thank you. Tristan, Johnny, and Sam only had like 2 or 3 scenes, right? And she's like completely changed her personality or something, and it's just like it really just wasn't quite connecting as well as you would hope. Even when you enjoy it, like when she's flipping the bottle cap and stuff, it's fun, but like it was very something about that, by the way, like when she jumps across the roof, it's not actually Johnny that gets her to do it. It's really Daniel or her rejection of, she doesn't want to be like her dad, so she does it because her dad tells her not to. But in the end, like it makes sense, but in the end we're missing that connection between Sam and Johnny, like so that's like the downside. Sean is literally the perfect example of being Cobra Kai material. Yeah, some people ask me, what's Sean going to be up to in season 5? And the honest answer is I just don't know. Tristan, well, the thing about the Aisha scene is it was kind of like closing out the story arc. And it did a little something. She was someone Sam could talk to about the situation. Of course, you have to ignore the fact that Aisha was friends with Tori, but that happens in this show, unfortunately. Sato never fought anyone. Yes, Agni Kai is correct. A scene with Johnny and Danielle's mom, Lucille. Someone was talking about that online. I mean, it could be fun. The problem is ultimately story-wise, that's kind of low importance. It's even unclear how well even though Daniel remembers Johnny, it's not necessarily clear she does. Devin literally took Sam and Johnny's bonding scenes. Yeah, Tristan, yeah, Devin took Sam and Johnny's bonding scenes. Yeah. I think if you put Sam in there and literally gave her even the same dialogue, Devin's dialogue literally just gave the same words to Sam, had Sam kicking the guys in the balls, it would actually have been a much stronger story arc for her character. And because that's what her story is supposed to be, her liking Eagle Fang, her connecting with Johnny, but instead Devin showed up and like took away half of it. She took away the biggest climax of it all. This video was sponsored by Dynatox. Yes, it was. Making nuclear waste, dumping it responsibly, dumping toxic waste responsibly. Agni Kai, for as much of the crazy stuff as he says, he's actually right here. Sam took Aisha's advice to strike first and set her own terms. She just didn't do it to make peace, but to further poke the bear. Essentially, that's right. Aisha said, I struck first. I set my own terms. Set yours. That's actually what he said. The whole scene is about her, how she became her best friend, though. So Sam kind of took the advice and made it into something completely different. Which would be sort of the justification or the thinking. She did exactly what Aisha said. It's just, yeah, it's just completely different. Eric Lee is here. We never even see Sam training with Eagle Fang. Well, yeah, Buck, it was I mean, in episode 3. Um and then in episode 4 when they're kicking Dimitri and he has the, the couch cushion on and stuff. Like that's the extent of it. I mean, she and then there's episode 7 where she walks in, but we don't actually get a training. She's like, I want to learn too. Okay. Cut away. That's it. That's this. It's sort of a letdown. Because it's just not enough there. It's not enough to contain a season long story arc. Including a shift in like personality and character. Like, where's this shift in personality and character? It's just like that, and that's where we say the show feels like a little bit too big. Like the show just doesn't have enough time to cover everything. Yeah, Dan Warner. That's Cole's fun theory, and I don't think that's Dugan, even though it's fun to think it's Dugan. In the end, I think if that guy were intended to be Dugan, they would have made some indication of it in the episode. I mean, in the end, foreshadowing and things, are ultimately obvious. It's not like a, haha, this, 4 seasons ago is actually this guy all along. It's not that. Usually if they had intended Dugan to be there in Vietnam, it would have been obvious. And I think for story reasons, it makes sense because they were introducing Terry Silver. They were introducing the other guy, Ponytail, and they also had Captain Turner. They had a lot going on there. I think just to try and throw something from Next Karate Kid, which most people haven't even seen, it just would have been too much. Watch Party, did you have a favorite moment scene from season 4? Other than Johnny Daniel training each other, it's a cop-out answer. Well, it's not a cop-out answer. I did like the hockey fight. What else did I like? The finals matches in episode 10, the Robbie versus Hawk fight is great, and definitely the Sam Tori fight is great too. So I mean, both the fights are great. A lot in the finale is great. The Kreese getting arrested, that's a good moment. The Chosen reveal at the very end, those are all top moments. I actually enjoyed the Robbie Tori kind of romance, and they kind of fell for each other at prom. I actually liked that. What else? Devin was fun. I don't know if I'd call my favorite, but I mean, he was a lot of fun character. Kenny. So there's a lot of stuff. But the ones I mentioned there for favorite. You think Tori will try to make peace with Sam in season 5? Buck Reviewer, I think maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Sam will try to make peace with Tori. Sam trained with Johnny with his off screen. Yeah. Josh Art. I mean, that's what I said. She walked in and then it cut away. But then she was with him a little, and she jumped the roof in episode 3, and then she's like kicking and stuff. She's kicking Dimitri in episode 4. That's about it. Dugan better not be in Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai World does not like Dugan, apparently. We'll see if he shows up. I don't know. I think, they're going to touch on it a little bit, but it may just be to bring Julie Pearson. I don't know how much they'll bring in the other characters. Alpha Elite was set up after Karate Kid 3 in the 90s. It's possible Miguel's father could be one of the members of that group. I don't see how Miguel's father has any connection to the Alpha Elite. That was like a thing at the high school. Not in Ecuador. Season 5 will redeem everything but Kyler and Pepper. Everyone will learn Cobra Kai is a bully area. George, the thing is, if that all happens in Season 5, what happens in Seasons 6 and 7 then? We got to have a show going. God, you are so crazy. Would you say prom fight is the worst fight in the show? No, it is not. That's still the mall fight. There were some things that are fun about the prom fight. I didn't even, despite the fact that it was a little unexpected and like, come on, you girls know you can't fight in these dresses. What are you doing? but if you get over that, I mean, it I guess they hate each other. So it was kind of fun. Chosen Vader owner. Hey, watch party. Hey, back. Thank you for coming in, guys. I like how Sam scored and eliminated her. You're talking about Piper. Yeah. She got all aggro. She got all aggro and was happy she beat someone who was only training for 6 weeks. It didn't feel earned, Tristan says about the prom fight. I don't know why. I don't know why. Some people really like it. I guess if you have trouble just accepting that, like, people are gonna get in a fight at a swimming pool in their like prom clothes. The next Karate Kid characters in the Cobra Kai. We have enough characters in Riley. Yeah, you're right. But I think they'll work in Julie Pierce some way. At the very least, Julie Pierce will make her way in. Anthony learns, fights Kenny, and wins. Maybe. Oh, George, I'm Puerto Rican. So excited to see what areas the cast was that I wasn't. I know a friend that knows Tanner. Oh, how did he met him while they were shooting there? Right. Tori versus Devin. Yeah, it was a pretty good fight. Robbie gave up a bit quickly on Kenny. He just got the beat crap out of him and seemed rushed to have him give up all hope. Well, plot and character moments are all rushed in the show. So, not sure he was giving up hope, but we'll see. What's your top 5 fights in all of Cobra Kai? Ooh. I don't know. I think it's to the point where you really can't even rank them anymore. People like I loved the hockey fight. I loved the Hawk versus Robbie fight. I also liked the Sam versus Tori fight in season 4. I think The school fight is still really good. And the cafeteria fight from season 1. If not Carrie Underwood, who do you have chosen to sing? Megacloud, I just can't answer that question. That's just something I'm not very good at. Like picking a singer. Some people have suggested, just either someone with a more of an 80s connection or like a rock connection, because the show seems to be 80s, seems to have more rock, but like a more modern country singer just didn't fit with the overall vibe of the show. Even if she's singing the moment of truth, even that version of the show, it's just has more of like a rock vibe in this series. So something like that. So that's your problems and what you would be looking for. Who I could never answer you. That's I don't have those answers. The prom fight was fun, short but fun. I don't like what Sam said to Robbie, though. Yes. Actually, what Sam also said to Tori. I mean, really, Sam has a few lines that make you go, huh, in season 4, and a couple of them are right there during that prom fight. I don't know. You almost wonder why they write that stuff. School fight is always going to be the best. Yeah, definitely it's crazy and overwhelming. I kind of wish it hadn't been spoiled in the trailer, but the trailer spoiled a lot of it. Chosen watch party is my opinion, but I feel like Miguel is a side character in season 4. Well, yeah, I have a very popular video about that. Forgotten Hero. And it feels like Miguel just, like, what happened? He just, like, exit stage left, he just kind of left and was forgotten about. Yeah. Miguel's arcs weren't as compelling. In the end, I don't really buy his not fighting in the tournament. I think it kind of hurts his character. It loses so much after his recovery in season 3 for him just to walk away like that. It hurts. It just feels out of character. It doesn't make sense. Was it weird that Hawk bullied Kenny after everything Hawk went through to redeem? Do you think it was a little strange to go back to being a bully? Well, the thing is, I think if you look at it and what they're trying to do with that, Hawk was like looking at Kenny as like, you better get out of Cobra Kai. Oh, you think you're cool? Like, it was almost Hawk's way of like, hey man, I've been there. And it's weird because in a way it's kind of true. In the end, Kenny kind of follows the path Hawk ended up following, right? So it's like Hawk was telling him, you better leave. They're going to go down, in his sort of Hawk way still. So I don't think it was weird. It's like Sam embraced. She used 2 guys I don't like. That line about Tori behind her in line. Well, yeah, that's not a good way to talk about her exes or even her current boyfriend. What I don't get is how the All Valley budget reduced so drastically despite the Netflix pickup. I mean, they couldn't find a larger shooting location, but they could get Carrie Underwood. Well, it's not a budget per se. I don't know what they were dealing with. Why couldn't they shoot it where they shot it in season 1? Like, I don't have that answer. Maybe someone does. I do know ultimately, they had 4 months to find a location, and Atlanta's a pretty big area. So I don't know why they shot where they did. It's not, it's not, I don't think it was a budget issue. It's not like, oh my God, we can't afford this. Like, I don't think so. I can't see how it would. I don't, in the end, I don't know. And usually the scouting producer, the location manager, or whoever does the scouting, doesn't do interviews, so we may not know. And the big three's done a series of interviews and no one asked them, so I guess we'll never know. Mary said on Twitter she was just joking. Oh, I think you're talking about when she said no one likes Sam. Tristan, yeah. Okay, I'm okay with Miguel deciding not to find the finals. When I think the whole point of season 3 was to build up to prove himself again. Yeah, that's a big part of what I'm saying. Like, because so much of the emotional arc and everything with Miguel is this build up to come back and prove himself. In episode 8 of season 3, he's there at the city council meeting, pitching on why it's so important and stuff. And then he's the one who walks away. It really ruins so much of what was good about season 3, especially with his character. It just kind of like it gets thrown away, and it's very let down. And I do think it's out of character, honestly, to be honest with you. Will Anthony overcome his spoiled nature and actually learn karate? Yes. And maybe we'll see that in season 5. Top 3 episodes of season 4. Chosen Vader owner. I don't know. I do like First Learn Stand. The finale's good, which is The Rise. Still not a good title, but The Rise. I don't know. What do I like? 6. Episode 1, maybe episode 4. Episode 4 is actually good. Terry Silver comes back. I don't know about the 3rd one. I'll have to think about it. We need a new Sam vid. No, we don't. Thoughts on Sam? What about her? I'll do a video on Sam in season 5. Not scouting, not budget. It was COVID. Apollo James, I don't see how you know that. There's no indication COVID had anything to do with it. You just don't make things up. Because it was. They were literally in a different building. Why were you in one building and not another? Still like Miguel's arc in season 4, even though it could have been better. I say it's build up to season 5. Yeah, it really is. It's like his season 4 arc is just a setup for the season 5, which will be significant, as we know. Him going after her father. This is going to be a significant storyline. But I feel like they have to kind of harm or take away from what happened in season 3, and it's just hard, Like I keep just coming back to the main point. They're forcing plot points. They had to force the plot point. They want Miguel to go for his dad in Mexico, so it's like they have to force that. Jim Tim, Let's Begin is a great episode. Yeah, I was actually thinking that one. Episode 1 is a great one. But yeah, they just have to force the plot point of of Miguel like leaving for Mexico. Mega Cloud, yeah, every show has its own budget to work with. I don't know. Peter said that he got indications from John, Josh, and Hayden. There really wasn't like, it wasn't like a flood more of money or something. That the budget, I guess, for season 4 was similar to their budget for season 3. Take that for whatever it is. They, in the end, for paying people and the production. Certainly, if you looked at the shooting schedule, which is where a big part of it is, like, if you had more budget, they could shoot longer. Which is what happened for season 3. For those of you who don't quite know the full history, the way they worked is they had 5. Yeah, it was okay. So for seasons 1 and 2, they had the same budget. They had 5 shooting days per episode, right? So it was 10 weeks essentially, like, because you work 5 days, you get 2 days off. However they structure it, but it was basically like it was designed to be like 5 shooting days per episode. So they had 50 shooting days, or 10 weeks essentially, 10 calendar weeks. For season 3, YouTube did increase their budget, and then they had like 6 shooting days per episode. So then they had like 60 episodes, for what, a little over 11 to 12 weeks worth of like calendar weeks then. So they had like 60 shooting days. So, it's like if they got more budget, can you get like 7 or 8 shooting days per episode? Because if they did more longer episodes, and keep in mind, the episodes have been getting longer each season. So a lot of times they're shooting more in the same number of days. So it's like the episodes are longer. They have, now 6 days to shoot an episode. So they got to shoot it all, but then they're shooting like another 3 or 4 minutes. That's 10% more episode in the same amount of time. So that's why they're working. So, and as far as I know, season 5 seemed to have the same shooting schedule. I have to double check, but it seemed like season 5 had a similar shooting schedule, except they did break up and were shooting in Puerto Rico and Atlanta at the same time for the last week. Hawk is the most diverse training of the kids, more or less. But at this point, everyone's been cross-training and stuff, so everyone knows stuff from everywhere. Tristan, what is the cringiest line in the show, in your opinion? I answered this in my Instagram Q&A last night, but I think Tori's line, "This will never be over, LaRusso, you hear me?" at the end of season 3 is about as cliche of a line as they could write and have written. Detective Bat, find it strange a lot of people didn't like Miguel in season 4. I don't think that's the thing. I don't think it's not like, oh, I hate Miguel. It's that you're very disappointed and feel like, what the heck happened to the story? His story just sort of fell flat for after season 3, his triumph of recovery and wanting to prove himself, and then he kind of just walks away. And it happens kind of suddenly. Can't wait to see Chosen training Hawk. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Chosen fits into the whole paradigm. No idea what's coming. Cringiest No Mercy from Tori. Having perfect characters is boring. Roundtable, yes. That is true. How strong would Miguel be if he wasn't so injury prone? I think the show wants us to think he's the best fighter. I always wonder it would be more interesting if Miguel was injured, went and fought anyway and lost, but I guess they just didn't want him to lose. Because the show really tries to make the point Miguel's was actually at 100%. He pulled a muscle, then his muscle was okay, and he probably could have fought. Sam asked him, "Are you okay?" Because the only person he talked to was her, and he could have said, they could have written the line, my muscle hurts. I just, it hurts to move. I didn't want to risk it. Like they could have written that line there when Sam and Miguel at the end, they could have had Miguel say, I didn't want to risk it or something, or it felt like it didn't feel right. They didn't write that. Miguel, they wrote the line instead. Yeah, I'm fine. He said, yeah, I'm fine. So I mean, the show wants you to think he's at full strength. And he was walking away because of other issues. He felt like he wasn't fighting for myself anymore. That's the line they wrote, right? That's the line he wrote. I felt like I'm not fighting for me anymore. So there you go. I mean, that's what the show gives you. We agree with Tori said it's a generic villain line. Yeah. We've heard from villains before. Yes. If you watch my video on the house fight, I have a great super cut there because, my God, it's kind of bad lines. It's been used before, and you can have a super cut and see. Silver versus Chosen, dude. I like that your name is Dude with exclamation points because I'm like, dude, now that we've had Silver versus, I kind of hope Terry goes on the good side. Terry's not going to the. Terry is staying where he is, but yeah, Silver versus Chosen match. They fixed Tori's character in season 4, and you all still complaining. What are people complaining about? I don't know. Is it me or they forgot about Miguel's back injury the whole season? No, the show moved on. The end of season 3 made clear Miguel's back injury was healed. I mean, that was that. He did a backflip and took out Kyler and everything. And I don't know. I tell people that, and like people just don't listen. I think, the show had made clear Miguel had made a full recovery by the end of season 3. So it was no longer really an issue. Tori is one of your favorite characters now in season 5. They ruined her in season 3, but did her justice. Well, as I said, she at least finally became more of a three-dimensional character, which I think is key. Cobra Kai G-Man. Hello, Watch Party. Hello, back to you. Tori season 4 is the best Tori, yeah. Done on purpose to make us sympathize with Sam. Who do you think will die in season 5 and onward? I don't know. I guess I should predict Kreese will die because I predict Kreese will die every season. How crazy. I keep predicting it. I've been wrong twice now so far. Come on. It's got to come out sometime. It's got to come sometime. I'm going to get it right sometime. Any viewers coming to hang out? Sunday drinking. Just kind of random topics. Like we're a drunk Terry Silver. Stingray. There's Sam training. That's one of her few moments actually training. Do you think season 5 could be the best? I mean, I haven't seen season 5. I mean, any season before it comes out could be the best season of the show. Season 6 too. Show's inventory is MVP. Thank you, man. Only one person died. Well, the show's had several deaths, if we include Vietnam. Treese will die in season 6, maybe. I better keep predicting it because I don't want to, at this point, I don't want to not predict it and then he dies and I'm like, fuck, I missed it. I keep predicting he'll die and then I don't predict he'll die and yeah. Frank, yeah, it's just the way they wrote this whole thing. I mean, it's about the scoring system that's never revealed and doesn't actually make any sense about this Miyagi-Do winning both matches. Cobra Kai needed to only win one. It does make you think you're going into that last one knowing Hawk's going to win. How many seasons do you think there will be? Well, Celad 98, this question has been asked since season 1. For a while, they didn't give any answer. Then they said, we're hoping for at least 6. So they're always saying they were hoping for at least 6. More recently, when the question gets asked, because the question is never not asked. It's asked constantly. Every time they ever go online to do a Q&A or anything, people ask the same question. And they answer the same. So they were saying we hope for at least 6. They've slightly varied that. Where now they're almost implying maybe they have an idea to do a little bit more, so they always say they want to do as much as they have story to tell, blah, blah, blah. So it made me think like maybe they were thinking like they had ideas for 7 seasons, but not to be overly optimistic, to try and be realistic, would say 6. We can do it in 6, but we're hoping for 7. Season 8 Endgame, maybe. Yeah. So it's something like that. But I think, as fans, you should hope go at least 6. They've written 5 and they've said we're writing beyond 5. Like they wrote season 5 intending there to be a season 6, right? That makes sense. So they were intending season 6, the way they wrote 5. The last 2 to 3 seasons focus on Kenny generation? Maybe. Jim Tim. Yeah, the show doesn't dip in quality. And that's what they want to avoid. I think they have an idea of the stuff they want to cover. So we'll see how it goes. Round table dropping the truth. How strong the show makes out the characters to be is how strong they are. That's how TV show works, basically, yeah. Whoever wins the fight is whoever the plot requires. That's why, I get asked all the time to do videos. Can you do like character tiers, like who's the strongest fighters and everything? And it's hard for me because it's like, well, whoever the plot requires to win is the one who's going to win. It's always been that way. It's like, I guess the plot required Hawk to win, so he wins. I tend to think Robbie was a better fighter, just the way the show works, and the show has us believe. But the plot needed Hawk to win, so there you go. If they go over 7 seasons, they'll end up in Walking Dead territory. Yeah, probably. I think maybe 7 seasons is what they have in mind. What will Robbie and Hawk's story be in season 5? I don't know. Robbie is going to go with Johnny to find Miguel. Hawk, I don't have much. I don't know much. Stop at 7 and focus on spinoffs. Well, I'm not going to say where they should stop. I mean, they should stop when they tell this, after they've told the story they wanted to tell. But spinoffs are definitely in the cards. But nothing's been announced yet. And they've been talking about it for like over a year, so I don't know what the deal is. Watch party, I have a question. Would you be okay if instead of fight in the after prom party, there would be a drink between Tori and Robbie, Miguel, and Sam, similar to the party at Moon's house in season 2? Daniela, are you suggesting like a drinking game, like where they're competing each other via drinking, or just like a celebratory drink? We're at prom, let's drink. I mean, there could have been other types of competition, but I think there was always a hope for it. The intention was always to have a prom fight. I guess there's a certain fun in getting them dressed up in these, like crazy prom dresses. Tori's in her dress and Sam's in her princess dress, and then Miguel's in the tux and Robbie's in his whatever the hell he was wearing, that tux, and getting them all to fight each other. I mean, there's a certain fun in that, I guess. I mean, who didn't put on your prom tux or your prom dress and think it'd be kind of fun to get in a fight like this, James Bond style, or something? Always fighting and in his best clothes. Season 7, Paul Dugan as villain, maybe. I don't know if he'll come back. We'll see. Drinking game happened in season 2, right? Yeah. Yeah, we didn't necessarily need another drinking game, I don't think. So, Tori and Sam look ridiculous fighting in dresses. Well, sometimes when you really, really hate someone, you gotta go fight them no matter what you're wearing. Which is, there you go. I can't see Miguel's dad being a series regular. No, but he a recurring guest star for season 5 for sure. It's gonna be a recurring character. I mean, what's the difference between series regular and recurring character? I don't know, but there you go. These slideshows kind of suck. Might lose Tanner Sholo to other projects after season 6. Blue Beetle is shooting right now. They're not going to lose Sholo to Blue Beetle because it's shooting right now. They work around it. If you ever saw them talk about like Peyton List, even when she came on in season 2, she was constantly flying in and out of Atlanta because she had all these other commitments and stuff that they constantly had to work around. So, they make stuff work. One advantage of being a show like this is, it's relatively short shooting period. I mean, you can shoot an entire season in 3 months, less than 3 months, 3 months. Yeah. Round table. Yeah. Blue Beetle has no impact. It's unclear if they're writing season 6. I'm thinking maybe they are, but it's really unclear. There's been certainly no official announcement or anything. We didn't know they were writing season 5. We just assumed they were in post-production on season 5. And then next thing you know, they're going into production on, or they were in post-production on season 4. And the next thing you know, they're going on into production on season 5. It's like, oh, I guess they had a writer's room and we're hashing this out. I didn't know. So it's possible they're writing season 6, or doing the writer's room part of it, which would be going on now. But that takes itself a couple months, really. They do the writer's room, then they write the scripts. So we'll see. Tristan, heard someone say Miguel is him writing the character out. No, that's people. People just sort of like see things and make connections that have no connection to reality. Season 4 and Miguel going to Mexico was written in, this was the writer's room and stuff was like the fall of 2020, right? So that was like when they did that, they actually started writing season 4, the writer's room, before it moved to Netflix. They actually started that. So, in somewhere in there, that was certainly always the idea, so that's almost a year, over a year before Xolo was ever cast in that, in Blue Beetle. Yeah, we don't know. There's probably not. Yeah, there's not going to be an All Valley in season 5 for sure. What they decide to do with it next, we don't really know. Clickbaiters assume all kinds of stuff and throw it against the wall. Yes, John Wells, you're right, because they assume you won't hold it against him, a year from now or however long from now, when they're proven dead wrong and everything they said was just BS. Because then you'll just click on their next clickbait. That is why clickbaiters thrive. They don't just survive. Sometimes they even thrive because people will just click on it, no matter how wrong they are and no matter how much they were just making shit up. But then I get accused of making shit up, and I'll have all this evidence. I'll show you on the screen. So we know this from the script, and here's an imp shot of the script, and people are like, so you're just making it up? I'm like, no, it's from the script. I put it on the screen. You can see it. Yeah, so you're making it. Oh my God. Okay, anyway, okay, guys, we're going about an hour and 20 minutes. I think I'm gonna tune out. Like I said, I'm trying to work on some stuff, get some other people on. I have some ideas. I do want to do, for those of you who are channel members, we're definitely going to do something in February. I don't know if it'll be a stream or just we get together and talk. We'll see how it goes. But if you want to become a channel member, you can click the join button. It should be right there on your screen. You may have to close the chat to see it, but if you join and become a channel member, we have some perks for you, some stuff we'll get together. So, Agni Kai, but you do your research. Yes, thank you, John. Oh, Zion Sherbs, who will win the next All Valley? No, Robbie's going to age out. There won't be another under 18. So thank you guys.